Grandma's going to read you another one, The Miracle Lunch. This is exciting. You can read it with me. Go grab your book, get it ready, the one Grandma gave you for Christmas. And let's read it together, hey? Let's open the page. Okay, you want this page, all right? Barry woke up with a start. Where was he? What had happened? Slowly it all came back. He remembered the flour, the dough, the kneading, and the lying in a warm tray and growing and growing. Then the oven. It was so hot and grew hotter and hotter until he passed out. Barry looked around him. He was in some kind of shop, a baker's shop. He could smell fresh bread. He could see vanilla slices and cream buns. Yum, Grandpa loves cream buns. Big buns. Not bums, buns, okay? Don't say that to your parents. Okay. And those sausage rolls, yummy. Oh, you're finally awake, squeaked a voice nearby. It was a bun next to Barry. We were wondering when you would wake up. My name's Betty and this handsome guy next to me is Billy. What's going on? Where am I? Replied Barry. You're in Barney's bakery in Bethsaida. You're a small loaf of bread, a bun. Some people call us Baps. My name is Bonnie. This is Bernie. You've already met Betty and Billy. What's your name? I'm Barry. Pleased to meet you all. Next page. This is how Barry started his life with his new friends, Betty, Billy, Bonnie and Bernie. All day they watched customers come and go, buying crusty loaves, French sticks, homemade pies, donuts and iced buns. Remember buns? But no one wanted to buy the 5 little loaves. What do you think is going to happen to us? Asked Barry. A lady will buy me, answered Betty, a rich lady who will cover me with smoked salmon and caviar. I'm going to be placed before the king, said Billy. My destiny is the palace, on the best, only the best for me. I don't mind who buys me, squeaked Bonnie, just as long as I don't go stale. I couldn't put up with being stale. Oh. Well, I like Vegemite, and I'm partial to peanut butter. Super crunchy, easy to spread, and low on salt, burbled Bernie. But no one brought the buns. They snuggled together to keep warm during the long night. Oh, next page. You turned it over, ready? Early next morning, before breakfast, and before Barney, Betty, Billy, Bonnie, and Bernie were really awake, the bakery had its first customer. It was a lady. She doesn't look rich, thought Betty. Maybe she works for a king, mused Billy. I want some buns. My boy Bart is off to see Jesus and he needs some food. Those look good. I'll take 2 or 3 of them. Oh, no, muttered Barry. They are going to split us up. No. Next page. But your Bart is growing bigger by the day. He'll need more than 2 or 3, advised the baker. You're right, said the lady. Better give me 4. No, I'll take them all. Now I'm off to the fish market. These rolls will go nicely with some fish. The 5 buns disappeared into a baker's bag. Fish, I told you my destiny was smoked salmon and caviar, cried Betty. Next page. But it wasn't salmon, it was sardines. 2 small, smelly, scaly, spotty, sweaty sardines. Oh, no. And they were put in the same bag as Barry, Betty, Billy, Bonnie and Bertie. Must have been a bit smelly. Pooh, you smell awful, said Barry. Don't come near me, screamed Betty. Stay away, yelled Billy. There are scales all over my crust, said Bonnie. You haven't seen any Vegemite on your travels, have you? Asked Bernie. Next page. A few moments later they met Bart. He looked about 9 years old and full of life. 5 buns and 2 sardines. Thanks, Mum. They will keep me going. Carrying his lunch in a small shoulder bag, Bart made his way into the countryside. Inside the bag, the buns and sardines rolled around like a roller coaster. Have you been on a roller coaster? Grandma finds them a bit scary, hey? It was an uncomfortable journey. As the day warmed up, the temperature in the bag rose higher and higher. Must have got smelly. Something smells around here, said Barry. It's not me, answered Betty. It's those fish, said Bernie. I told you we should have had Vegemite or peanut butter or maybe Promite. Grandma likes Promite. Super crunchy, easy to spread and low on salt. Next page. When they finally arrived, our 5 friends became aware they were in the middle of a great crowd. It sounds like there's thousands here, said Billy. Shh, whispered Bonnie. I can hear someone speaking. I wonder what they're saying. Through the morning and into the afternoon, they listened to the voice of Jesus. It was a wonderful voice, so soft yet strong, so gentle yet with authority. Jesus spoke about God's kingdom and told them wonderful stories about farmers and prodigal sons and lost sheep. It was so good, Bart forgot all about his lunch. Next page. It was late in the day and the crowd became restless. People were hungry, stomachs were rumbling. Does anyone have any food? Inquired the disciple called Andrew. I've got my lunch here, said Bart. I can share it with you. Andrew led Bart through the crowd right to where Jesus was standing. Oh, this is exciting. Next page. Jesus, this is Bart and he has some food. Out of the bag came Barry, Betty, Billy, Bonnie, Bernie, and those 2 smelly sardines. Jesus took them in his hand, looked up to heaven and said, Father, thank you. Bless these buns and fish. With that he began to break the buns. What's happening to me? Asked Barry. I'm growing, said Betty. No, you're multiplying, answered Billy. I always knew there was more to me, said Bonnie. Even the fish don't smell so bad, replied Bernie. What happened next was the most amazing miracle Jesus performed. Those 5 small buns and 2 small fish fed thousands and thousands of people, enough for everyone and more left over. Everyone ate as much as they wanted. Jesus instructed the disciples to gather the leftovers and they filled 12 baskets. And guess who bumped into each other in one of those baskets? Barry, Betty, Billy, Bonnie, and Bernie. Next page. Did you see that miracle? Said Barry. I was part of a miracle. I told you my destiny was to do with fish, replied Betty. I knew I would end up in the hands of a king, said Billy. I am still as fresh as when I came out of the oven, exclaimed Bonnie. But Bernie had the last word. Who wants Vegemite or peanut butter when you can be put into the hands of Jesus and become part of a miracle? My grandkids, you are miracles, and Jesus wants to take you and use you to become such great miracles for him. Keep your light shining. The end.